Hi, Nawal.
Hello, nice to see you, Sana.
Nice to see you. This is Dr. Nawal Al-Hosany. Everybody knows her in the sustainability space. Dr. Nawal, as you know, is the permanent representative of the UAE to the International Renewable Agency, IRENA. And prior to that, she was the executive director of sustainability at Masdar, which is Abu Dhabi's renewable energy company, and director of the Zayed Future Energy Prize. She's also served as the deputy director general of the Emirates Diplomatic Academy, and she has also held positions on many boards and committees, including the Advisory Council of the National Geographic Magazine, the Payne Institute in Colorado School of Mines, the Advisory Panel for the Momentum for Change Initiative of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. That's such a mouthful. I don't know how you remember to do all of these things, Nawal.
Well, let's say I have a great team.
Nawal, everybody's talking about sustainability these days. Here, I'm talking to you from Seattle, Washington. Abu Dhabi is talking about it. Other capitals are excited about several initiatives, and I want to know, what is it that excites you about sustainability? What really big idea is happening right now that is turning you on?
You know what, Sana, you are absolutely right. Yani, we do hear a lot about building a sustainable future, what it will look like, and what it will be like, and how we might live. And at this point, it's extremely becoming hypothetical. An imagined place of better days, greener day, a more socially conscious place. It's almost an intellectual pursuit confined at this point to the mind. But to make this place a reality, I believe when when we can touch, when we can feel and smell a place where we can breathe cleaner, fresher air, we must do, for me, we must do one thing without compromise. We must embed renewable energy into the heart of all our efforts to build back stronger, better, greener, and cleaner. This gonna happen if we went all the way from policy making at the top table to building advanced technologies on the ground. Everything we do must have renewable energy in mind. We will not achieve, and I truly believe that, we will not achieve a sustainable future without the right form of power to take us there. Renewable energy is simply, I believe, our role, our route to restoring a world we might lose if we don't act now.
Noel, are these technologies existing, or are they being developed, or what is the status of these technologies? Why are they not being used right now?
A lot of those technologies are being used. We have here, let me talk about my country. As you know, I am extremely proud of being here. We have here some of the largest PV plants in the world, solar plants. We have photovoltaic, we have concentrated solar power plants, we have all type of solar technologies. We are also looking at wind energy and other technologies. So technologies are there. And from my early days in Masdar in 2008 until now, we have moved, I'm saying, like miles and miles, because the cost went down dramatically, the efficiency improved remarkably, the rate of implementation and the kilowatts that are being, and gigawatt, not kilowatt, gigawatts of renewable energy are being installed here and worldwide. So technology is there. It has been implemented, not at the pace as we would want it to be, because we are still lacking some investments, but we are still lacking also some, in many countries, some regulatory frameworks that need to be put in place to be an attractive opportunity for investment. So in many countries, even here in the UAE, solar energy became competitive with traditional energy, which is a remarkable thing, given that we are an oil producing country. So solar is becoming more and more competitive. Wind in many countries, like the UK, for example, became much more competitive. Even in the US, wind in the US is competitive to traditional energy. So the technology is there. The one challenge of technological challenge that a lot of people, a lot of very, very smart people are working on now, and I believe because of this, it's going to be sorted very soon, is the storage problem. Because as you know, renewable energy has its ups and downs. So if we develop the right storage solutions, that's gonna solve our problem of having a sustainable and a stable connection to the grid.
And is this going to help reverse or stem at least climate change?
It's a core one of the core solutions. Sana, we are globally, we as people, we as human, we cannot stop developing. We need to develop. We need to grow. Our population is going to grow. We're not going to stop. The population is not going to stop from growing. Our demand for energy is not going to stop for growing. So we cannot only look at solutions today. We need to look at solutions for tomorrow, because we definitely need to maintain a high quality of life for our people with a minimum impact on the environment. And that can only happen if we address two things: supply of energy. So we need to find a more sustainable supply of energy through renewable energy. The other one thing that is relevant but also important is demand side management. So you and I need to consume less energy. You and I need to find ways to consume less. But we also want to live in a suitable quality of life for us. So how we do that? We do that by when we buy our TV, we need to make sure that our TV, not that anybody's buying TVs anymore, but anyhow, if you want to buy a TV, you want to make sure that it consumes much, much less energy than it used to consume a few years ago. If you have a system in the country that has peak hours for energy consumption, so make sure that you are, for example, using the washing machine at a time when it's a low usage. So those choices, our choices, has to be more sustainable and has to be taking in mind our environment and our planet.
So it's an education and an awareness issue as much as anything else.
It's a people's issue.
It's a people issue.
So we need to, because I don't think anybody in the world doesn't know about climate change anymore. So everybody knows about it. Everybody heard about it. At this, we are still, we think, we as people still think that this problem is too big for us. It doesn't matter what we do. It's not going to have an impact. And that's not true. It starts, it starts with you and me. It starts with us.
On a personal level, because what you said is exactly true, Dr. Nawal. People think it's just so much bigger. Whatever they do, they think it's just a drop in the bucket. So, what is the single most important thing that households can do to make a difference?
Make conscious choices, make conscious decision. You are the consumer. You have the biggest, or we are the consumers. We have the biggest influence in the market. We are, we are the human capital in every company. We are the wealth of any country. So if you make the right choices, if when you go to the supermarket, you make sure that you are buying things that are manufactured in a sustainable way. If when you go to buy your appliances, you want to make sure that your appliances is highly efficient, then companies are going to go and develop those and become more efficient and compete with each other, which is happening now with appliances. So making the conscious decisions, instead of driving 3 times a day to the supermarket, just plan it and drive one time if you need to drive, or if you can, if you have a neighborhood supermarket, maybe you just can walk towards that. So it's a small step, but every small step does matter. A lot of youth now are driving this change. It's incredible. It's incredible. You see how now companies, we speak about when the pandemic hit, and it's still hitting a lot of our economies. A lot of people thought that environmental and social and sustainability consideration will be the least priorities for companies, especially for large corporation. It was the other way around. ESG never was more prominent in all sectors. Investors now, in 3 months, because we are, I don't know if you heard, but the UAE now just announced its interest to host COP28 in
Yes, I heard
2026.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah. And the numbers of commitment that companies, private sector, is
Mhm.
committing to climate change, it tripled in 3 months.
Wow. Wow.
So, those numbers are increasing. A lot of countries now are committing to net zero. A lot of countries are committing to carbon neutrality. So it means different things to different countries, clearly, depending
Right.
on on their systems. But every company in every sector is now looking at sustainability, starting from the oil and gas sector. So oil and gas sector are looking into investing in renewable energy and looking at improving efficiency in their process and procedures. So the automobile industry, we hear more and more about electrical cars and hybrid
Correct.
cars. So every sector now is becoming more and more invested and interested in this debate.
And it's
So
also good
it's
for
no
business
longer
as
it's no
well.
longer theoretical.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's exciting. It's also good for business. It helps the company's bottom line in the long run as well. Correct, Dr. Nawal?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because first, I remember having this conversation when I first joined Masdar. And the CFO was like, why would I do this or that? Because we'd have debates in the XCOM about some of the initiatives that we would suggest as sustainability department.
Mhm.
And I was like, because it makes commercial sense for you. When I reduce, when I replace the plastic bottles that we distribute to the employees with actually with glasses and jugs and give people their own reusable bottle, you are
Mhm.
saving money. And I showed him in numbers how much they are saving. So once the CFO or once the financial team seen the numbers, then they become your champion. I remember one of the initiatives that we did to green our embassy in Washington, in
Mhm.
DC. So we had a lot of initiatives to introduce a greener office policy into the embassy. And then I went there because we wanted to get buy-in from the teams and the
Mhm.
employees at the embassy. And I would do we wanted to do small workshops with every department. When I went to the finance department, the finance manager was like, I'm sold, you don't need to send me anything. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, I received the bills, I know how
Wow.
much we are saving, so I am
Wow.
sold, you don't need to talk to me, go and do more what you are doing. So it does make financial sense once you have the right regulatory framework in the country.
And I think young people, especially Dr. Noel, are so excited about it. The whole concept of the circular economy. My daughter, Sarah, who's 18, she doesn't like to buy anything new. She wants to buy something that's been used, even if the cost is the same. She just feels much happier buying something that is not manufactured, so what do you think about that? Do you think the younger generation is going to lead the whole adoption and the whole mindset change?
Absolutely. And I think what's helping is efforts in educating the youth. So you can see now all those campaigns around the world, and the availability and the abundance of information. So there's so much out there, and you know how connected the youth are. So they have access to information, they understand the impact. Now there are many apps on the and very easy apps to use that helps you calculate your carbon footprint. So
Right.
there's so much information there, and now they are the future. Like when we do sustainability campaigns in the UAE, I've noticed that the most contributions we receive are from the younger generation. Like my nephew was like, I think he was at that point he was, I believe, 8 or 9, and it was incredible how much he knew about renewable energy. But again, the UAE has done an incredible job and efforts to educate the youth.
Correct.
We have integrated renewable energy and sustainability as a curriculum. in the schools. You know, IRENA, the International Renewable Energy Agency, which is based here in the UAE, have an MOU with the Ministry of Education, and we they are collaborating with each other to make sure that the education effort is being communicated to all to all levels.
Mm-hmm.
With the Zayed Sustainability Prize, for example, we have had launched and we launched that based on instructions from our leadership, from His Highness Sheikh
Mm-hmm.
Mohammed bin Zayed personally. He's in the beginning, our focus was on companies and corporation, and he was like, we need to target the youth. Global High Schools Prize, and the Global High Schools Prize, the aim of it is that the youth will have the mindset about thinking about sustainability, and that will help guiding their decision on what they will be specializing when they go to university, and which sector they will be getting in once they graduate.
And they also go home and they educate their moms as well, their families, which is
Absolutely.
just amazing, you know?
Yeah, because I remember in our days, my father, Allah yarhamah, he used to be the one who is like shouting at us, why you are not turning off the lights.
Right.
Now, the kids will walk around, why you are not turning the lights? Why are you not turning off the lights when you leave the room? So it's, I think
Alhamdulillah.
we were the lost generation in
Yeah.
between. Our
Yeah, I think
parents
so.
were environmentally conscious.
Yeah.
Our kids are environmentally conscious. We are the ones who are responsible for the mess
Yeah.
that the world lives in.
But we have a chance to fix it, I hope. I'm
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm very positive about a lot of these new technologies. I think it's going to make a big difference. It is, like you said, it is about adoption. It's about governments working together, companies also adopting them. So I'm very excited about that. And I'm so happy, Dr. Nawal, you joined us today.
Thank you.
It's honestly, it's such a pleasure. Nawal, if there was one thing that you wanted to, one piece of advice you just wanted to give to people, what would that be?
It starts with you. It always starts with you
At
to
an
make the right
individual level.
choices.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much for joining us. And I hope to see you in Seattle. Hopefully, come and visit us, and we'll do amazing things, inshallah, in sustainability.
Inshallah, I can't wait.